Picture this. You're watching Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and it's coming to the end. Darth Vader is about to say the most infamous line in the franchise. Luke, I am your father. Except this time, he doesn't say that. He says, no, I am your father. You sit there puzzled, because you distinctly remember him saying, Luke, I am your father. Except, you're wrong. He never said that. That is known as the Mandela effect. Today I'm going to be talking about the infamous Mandela effect, where thousands, if not millions, of people remember an event, object, or catchphrase a certain way, but that moment never happened. Today I will be going over 3 main points: theories behind the Mandela effect, the most common examples, as well as how it all began, as well as the psychological explanations behind the Mandela effect. There are many theories behind the Mandela effect. These theories range from psychological explanations to alternate realities. One of the most famous theories behind the cause of the Mandela effect is the theory of multiple universes. Yes, just like Spider-Man. People believe that there are multiple universes out there and that we have gone to a different universe, which is why we have these false memories. According to CNN World, the article titled "The Mandela Effect Describes a False Memory Many of Us Share, but Why Can't Scientists Explain It?" by Jacopo Frisco, published September 18, 2023, he stated, advocates of the Mandela effect think it's a genuine effect. Many believe this is based on the many worlds or multiverse theory, and that things are different in parallel realities. Although there is no solid evidence to support this, it is still one of the most commonly believed theories. Another very popular theory is that there is a time traveler who has gone back in time and altered our timeline slightly, so now we have these false memories. The publishers of the medium in the article Mandela Effect stated, if someone were to travel back in time and modify even minor details, these changes could propagate through history, leading to discrepancies in how events are remembered. Although this is a very crazy theory, as we still do not know if time travel is real, but there have been many people who have claimed to be time travelers, and they have even given some proof, so this theory isn't too far-fetched. Another not so common theory, but one that I have heard of, is the theory of an open portal to a different dimension. Jacopo Frisco also stated in the same article previously mentioned, the Large Hadron Collider, a particle accelerator at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, known as CERN, in Switzerland, has opened a portal to a different dimension when it was activated in 2008. Although this one isn't as popular as other theories out there, there's still many people who believe that this is the cause of the Mandela effect, which is kind of crazy to think about because they have debunked this theory. But what if there is a portal out there that we don't know about and that is causing our timeline to change, which is why we have all these false memories? Now that we have talked about some popular theories, let's discuss some of the most popular Mandela effect examples and how it all began. The first one that I will tell you about is the death of a South African president. Many had thought that had died while he was in prison in the 1980s, but he died years later in 2013. According to Very Well Mind, the article The Mandela Effect, How Masses of People Can Have the Same False Memory, but by Arlen Kunsick, published on January 3, 2024, he stated, Fiona Broome, when she created a website to detail her observance of the phenomenon. Broome was at a conference talking with other people about how she remembered the tragedy of former South African President Nelson Mandela's death in a South African prison in the 1980s. However, Nelson Mandela did not die in the 1980s. He passed away in 2013. As Broome began to talk to other people about her memories, she learned she was not alone. So many people agreed with her. Many even have vivid memories of different news channels covering the incident, as well as speeches from his widow. This is so crazy to think about, because what if Broome had never discovered this false memory? Would the Mandela effect even be a concept that we have today? Who remembers the Berenstain Bears? Well, if you remember the Berenstain Bears spelled Berenstein, then you are wrong. It is the Berenstain Bears, spelled Berenstein. Thousands believe that it is the former and not the latter. This example makes scientists believe that the Mandela effect is more of an underlying cognitive issue rather than a parallel reality or some other crazy theory. Okay, I'm sure we have all watched or read Curious George, right? I mean, who doesn't love that silly monkey? He's just so adorable. There is no way that you can't remember him, right? Well, now here comes the question. How well do you remember him? Does he or does he not have a tail? Well, the assumption is that, well, he's a monkey. And well, monkeys have tails. And that is how many people remember him, as having a tail. But our favorite curious monkey does not have a tail. I, like many others, believe that he had a tail. Which is crazy to think about, right? Now that we have talked about some crazy theories and some of the most famous Mandela effects and their origins, let's talk about some psychological explanations. The first possible psychological explanation is that our minds will fix the memory to make it fit better into what we believe makes sense for the memory rather than the truth. According to Psychology Today in the article The Psychology Behind the Mandela Effect by Michael E. W. Barnum, published February 28, 2024, he stated, "Our memories, it seems, are far from perfect, especially for the detail. If our minds tweak these details to help them fit our existing schemes, then perhaps this is why we remember Fruit Loops or Berenstain Bears. Although this is crazy to think about how our minds can alter these memories because it doesn't seem that it doesn't fit into our truth, I do believe that this explanation because our minds are so powerful and so underdiscovered that we don't fully understand if our minds can actually do this." Another psychological explanation for the Mandela effect is a sense of false memories where our mind will have us remember an event wrongly compared to what happened. According to the Statesman article titled Theories Behind the Mandela Effect by Anna Anderson, published November 23, 2021, they stated the most scientific name for this is called confabulation, the production of creation of false memories or erroneous memories without the internet to deceive, sometimes called honest lying. This sense of confabulation occurs when a person creates a false memory without intending to lie, believing that their version of the truth is what happened. This psychological explanation also fits because a lot of the time we like to remember things our way, especially when it benefits us, so we start to believe that this is the truth. It is also popularly believed that some interferences or even new memories can interfere with some of our existing memories, which can lead to a distortion that we create or misremember our memories, creating the Mandela effect. To conclude today's discussion, I talked about the infamous Mandela effect, the thing that has had thousands, if not millions, of people in shambles because they remembered an event, object, or catchphrase that never actually happened. We examined the theories behind the Mandela effect, the most common examples, how they gained attention, and the psychological explanations behind it. So next time you swear Darth Vader said, "Luke, I am your father," or you swear Pikachu had a black tail, I want you to pause and ask yourself, is your memory playing tricks on you, or is it something deeper? Whether it's a glitch in the brain or a glitch in the matrix, the Mandela effect reminds us to just how mysterious, powerful, and sometimes unreliable our minds can be. Thank you.